this is Unpaid Bill from Questlove Supreme. Last week we gave you Wayne Brady Part 1. In that, Wayne spoke about morning routines and why making the bed is important. He talked about favorite cereals and candy, and he even remembered a bully from his past. It's an amazing episode, and you absolutely need to check it out if you haven't. If you have, well done, because here's Part 2. My friend Wayne Brady, Questlove, Fonte, Sugar Steve, and myself, live in the studio in New York City. Enjoy.
This is actually, I think, a good time to pivot into this question, the side question, which was, okay, so my version of this story was when I was a staff member of the Chappelle Show.
Sorry, I didn't mean it. Sorry, Sound.
Yeah.
I want to hear what your version is.
The genius of season 2 was the fact that Neil Brennan and Dave Chappelle were pretty much just flying off the seat of their pants. I happen to know that they finished the edit maybe a half hour
before airtime.
Yeah, before airtime. Like Comedy Central has to like approve things for standards, and like we went down to the wire. So I do know that I had to go so I can go to the airport. So what Neil will tell me when I landed, he says, "Dude, we just created a masterpiece." Like the way they were describing how the night was like they had made Purple Rain and Thriller at once. And I'm thinking like, wait, from the whole from that sketch? He says, "No, man." He's like, "So when you were leaving and checking out at the last minute, guess who we saw in the lobby?" I was like, "Who?" He said, "Dog, we saw Wayne Brady." And I said, "Oh my God, what happened?" Because I instantly went back to Paul Mooney on that.
Oh my God, what happened?
I'm expecting this is going to be like beef and broccoli. I said, "What went down? What went down?" He said, "Nah, man, we shot something." And so I'm under the belief that it was off the cuff. You just happened to be in the lobby. You and Dave had a mea culpa kind of understanding moment thing. And then it was like, "So what are you doing? Do you want to shoot something?" And it was very off the cuff. And I was not prepared for any of those things. Like,
oh, no. It was so much different.
For you, all right, so what's your version of it?
The reason that the sketch bothered me, and I'll just say it in a nutshell, jokes are jokes. Mm-hmm. I do comedy, everything. Jokes are jokes, fine. I just happen to come from a very, very particular place, and you can't tell me what I can and can't feel. I feel Paul Mooney, I worshipped at the shrine of Paul Mooney. Mm-hmm. I never said that Paul Mooney wasn't funny or Paul Mooney wasn't a genius and a writer. I love Paul Mooney. I love Dave. So imagine my shock. I'm sitting at home. My barber came over to my spot. He's doing da-da-da-da. And the Chappelle Show's on. I'm excited. I was like, okay, we get through the whole thing, and then boom, Negro. What's up? Wayne Brady looked like him. I went, oh. I didn't laugh at it, not because I was like, I'm above being made fun of. If your joke is funny, please make fun of me. That's what we do. But to me, and now because you saw me talk to my bullies, also Kendra and Nicole. Kendra and Nicole. You
Come
know
on
who
down.
you are. Kendra Adams.
It's always an Adams.
It's always an Adams. Adams, Jones, Johnson
Wilson,
Harris.
Right.
That race has always been a subject that has played, because what does it mean to be black? You know, the kid that grew up watching certain things, doing certain things, liking certain things, so those things form you. So I've always had that in the back of my mind as a thing. So when I see that, I'm like, the joke isn't funny. To me, it doesn't even scan, because you're now making fun of Brian Gumbel, who, like, say what you want to say, but Brian Gumbel, this incredibly successful man in his own right, doing this thing. So now you're going to use me to take down him, or him to me, and then that means that I'm not black enough. And so does that mean that one of my comedic heroes, Dave Chappelle, who I've rocked with since Robin Hood Men in Tights and watching him at evenings at the Improv before he blew up, this dude really knows who I am. Oh, that's awesome. But now they're going to shit on me? And Paul Mooney, who I love, he doesn't think I'm black enough? That's really, wow. That shakes you, which is why Wayne doesn't go out and talk to people, because I don't want to deal with that shit sometimes. So I was already in my feelings about it from a race place and just from a joke point. I didn't feel that it was a good joke. I thought it was too easy. Fuck those guys. Immediately, I'm a very petty, angry person inside sometimes when it comes to certain things. So I was already like, well, I guess I can't watch a Chappelle Show. Click, I can't enjoy the genius that is Dave Chappelle. Fast forward to, I forget what the show was. It was an award show. It might have been the Hoodies, Steve Harvey's hoodies or something. But Donnell was in the lobby bar. We were in the bar. Donnell was with somebody else, and I recognized him immediately because I like the show. Oh, it's Ashley Larry. Yeah. But fuck you, I'm not gonna drink my drink. He comes over, so wonderful and gracious. Wayne, hey, I'm Donnell. I play Ashley. I know who you are. I've seen your little playlets.
Right.
Just do the energy. And he was so sweet. He was like, Wayne, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, yeah, that's great. I love the show. Up until that whack-ass joke by Paul Mooney, blah, da, 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 da. But thanks. He goes, oh, my God. I mean, we have love for you. I was like, to be honest, I don't know. And I have to preface it, I had been drinking. So I was like, really? Was that how you love me, black man? Is that really? So I just go on about my day. Cut to the next day. This is how fast the shit did happen. So I don't know the timeline that you're talking about in terms of when you came out to LA, but it happened where...
Well, I was at the Four Seasons Hotel, so...
Okay, so that might have been... So whenever I saw him, then the next day I was doing my talk show. I get my assistant comes as I'm in the writer's room. Wayne, you got a phone call. Who? Dave Chappelle. I was like, why is Dave Chappelle? No, you're lying. Dave Chappelle. Okay. Dave. Dave? Hello? Hey, man, it's Dave. Oh, man, it just so sweet. It's like, look, I didn't write that joke. Mooney came up with it. I really didn't like the shit either, but you know, I like the character and da-da-da. No offense was meant. Now, the fact that, and now we live in a day and age, no one's going to backtrack on a joke. For folks like, I said what I said and I said it. So that itself, we could have just stopped it there. It couldn't have gone any further. It's like, would you ever want to be on the show? I said, are you kidding me? It would be a dream of it. Well, then what are you doing this weekend? Or if this was a Friday or something. So I flew out. I said, I'll come to New York immediately. Great. I'm going to put you in touch with Neil, and you guys decide what we're going to do, and we're going to do something great. But I was like, great, thanks, Dave. I was on cloud nine, so I immediately started thinking of ideas. And this is where it's just so cool. So I'm writing stuff on the plane. Neil had already worked out some stuff. So when I get to New York, it all happens like this. I get off the plane. We go to where you guys shot, I think in Brooklyn or someplace, or whatever. We get up as soon as I get in, I go, Neil's waiting for me. He's like, so what do you want to do? Blah, 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 blah. He goes, we've got this idea of like doing this training day thing because, you know, like you do your talk show. Oh, and at this time, this is when I was leaving my talk show because I found out that because I told somebody off at Disney that they threatened me and said, oh, you know, if you don't do this particular thing, we always can find someone to do your show. And I said, oh, if you can find another Wayne Brady to do the Wayne Brady show, please be my guest. I come back and Tony Danza's name is in the papers. But that's cool. Wow. So I was like, great, I'm out of this bitch.
I'm asking the wrong goddamn question.
I'm having all the black people I want on the show because they had a ban, not a ban because they were going to say, we never said that. Certain guests that I'd bring up, they would go, oh, no, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, really? I had Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes. If you were black and my favorite rapper, you were on that show, your show at that time. So this was great. I was like, yes. So in my mind, I was like, we need to do something that will burn the house down. Fuck it, let's go. So Neil's idea was the training day thing.
Right.
And I said, well, if we're doing training day where I'm showing Dave through the neighborhood and doing shit, then we really need to lean into the fact of when folks are like, oh, Wayne, I love you because I see your talk show where you're this, you're everybody's favorite black guy, blah, 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 blah. I said, I want to do a thing where a cop stops me and he starts singing my jingle, and I wrote that, and then I'm going to go be behind him and I'm going to kill him. And that'll freak.
I do that to this day.
All right, here we go.
And that'll freak out Dave, and I want a microphone to come down. He's going, great, well, let's do that. And then we'll do the other thing with an ATM and you'll get your money. So like we'll follow the beats. I said, great. So we came up with it. So we had these two ideas and mushed them together. We shot it all night. We wrapped like 6 a.m. because I had to get back on a plane to go back to shoot. And then I get a call like Monday. He's like, dude, this is amazing. You aren't going to be ready. I think we've made history.
Yes.
Wow.
And I knew it, like not often are you in the middle of something, but I knew it as we're doing it because there was such disparate worlds, right? Of Dave in this and me, especially of that time of what folks thought of me and the gigs I was doing. It's like, well, how does that all fit together? And we weren't doing a sketch in my mind. I was like, no, I'm really doing this shit because I'm also showing you what I do as an actor.
Right.
It's like, we're really doing this. And the way that he shot it, and it was a beautiful thing that came together. And I knew that we made TV history. I knew it.
Dog, when I'm telling you, like Rick
Don't
James,
smoke this, nigga. We have a problem.
right. Right. Up until that point, they were really excited about the racial draft, but the way they were talking about how quickly this thing came together and how, and I was disappointed because I couldn't add music to it. Like I was like, all right, so what am I going to do? What am I going to do? They're like, Psh, it's done already, man. You wait till it comes on, and literally, okay. So, how was perception of you or reaction? How did that change after that episode?
Instantaneous, because at that point, you know, the Chappelle Show was everywhere all the time. It was on a loop. So everywhere you went, and being on tour and going, you know, to various cities, I could see the reactions. Like and right after that, I was on tour, you know, like I was in Philly and New York and Atlanta and Chicago and Detroit. So I got to see firsthand black reaction to the sketch. Now, the thing is that I never want the narrative to be like, all black people voted unanimously that Wayne Brady was corny or whatever, because that was not the case. Yeah. More black people rocked with me than not. It was some, and fine, you can say what you wanted to, but I did notice as soon as that sketch hit, this is the thing that I got, which I loathe to this day, but I know where it comes from. When like there's a particular cat comes up, yo, Wayne, nigga. That's that dude. I'm gonna slap me a hoe. It's like, no, man. It's actually choke a bitch. He's like, yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. Yo, I gotta tell you something. I didn't fuck with you before. I didn't fuck with you.
Oh, people get all honest.
I didn't fuck with you before. I was like, well, thanks for telling me your inner thoughts. You didn't digest my. Okay, fine. But now, nigga, now, hug me, now, man, now? And then I'm like, well, thank you. But the funny thing is, so you loved me now because I had hoes, made Dave take drugs, and I was like, okay,
blackness.
Yeah, I get it. But the thing that I love the most about it is whatever your reaction and whatever you felt, and I feel it to this day. It's a classic sketch. It's in the Museum of Television History. I love Dave, and I thank Neil and I thank Donnell for coming up to me because I got a chance to do something that was so dope, and I see the effects of it today that people got to see. Because I was doing a Disney talk show. I was doing an ABC talk show.
Right.
I was on a Who's Line at night. I was doing those things. Now, the people that followed my act, that saw me in the comedy clubs and theaters, they knew that it's kind of like the Bob Saget thing. That my act is my act, and I tell folks, just because you watched Who's Line or your kid likes Sophia the First, don't bring your kid to my show because it's not that kind of show. So it's not that. So I felt that began a shift where folks, to your point earlier, where folks say that they really don't know me, they know the things that I do. I feel that was a step in people going, okay, I guess there's more to the person than I thought. And if it takes an event like that to make you open your mind, then cool. I don't care where it comes from as long as it comes.
I'll ask you, though.
Yes, sir.
And this is an objective question, so I don't know if I can get a definitive answer.
Of course.
Is the grass greener on the other side?
Well, I would not know still because, and this is a larger conversation for a thing, I have issues where I still feel where now it's mostly, oddly enough, ironically, it's white Hollywood and white studio execs, and I'll even say agents that I've had in the past and people that, because black is black to me. We are not a monolith. That's what Wiz is about. Come see the Wiz until June 10th. So
until June. June 11th.
Oh,
no.
no, but you got to see it in general, but just know that's what. So black is all these beautiful things, but the problem is that when we call each other out and we go, oh, you not black of this or your experiences in this, there are people on the other side listening, like studio execs and like other people that they're, oh, so that's not black enough? So what is black, Jamal? Tell me, what is black? And he's like, well, I don't mess with that dude, but I think that dude, okay, great. So my problem on the grass side isn't even with my own folks. I love my folks, and my folks mess with me. It's how I am perceived. I think even for roles, even in series that I know that I would kill it, I am by the gatekeeper who maybe the show creator's black, but the studio head is like, oh no, I wouldn't consider Wayne Brady for that.
Are there 3 roles that got away?
3 roles that got away.
Or not 3. Is there one? What role? I almost had it.
Well, I have a few that I have almost had it that I'm not going to blame on race, because maybe I wasn't the dude on that day, but I was offered a couple things, and then offers got, because of, but the one that sticks out in my head, it was one of the ones, it was around the Chappelle thing that I was like, I'm going to show folks what the fuck I do.
Right.
It was Snakes on a Plane.
What?
Snakes on a Plane. And here's the thing. It was for the role of the rapper. Now the dude that got it, that's my boy Flex. I did a movie with Flex. I love Flex. So if I'm happy that
Flex Alexander?
Yeah, Flex Alexander.
Flex.
Yeah, Flex.
She said Flex was like, I was like, do I know another Flex? Okay.
So if anybody got it, I was happy, because Flex is, yes, that's fam. But what I did, and my audition was so genius. I have to say, this shit was genius. It was for the rapper. I looked at the script. I'm like, not a great script. The concept, you said, I'm like, but screw it. I'm going to go in. So I hired 2 actors to play my bodyguards. And I hired a couple girls to be my video vixens. And
For the audition?
For the audition.
So you're like a
I'll
real
never forget, I drove in traffic, like if any of you were actors back in the day in LA, if you had to go over to Santa Monica to audition for this, it was horrible getting there. I spent about an hour and a half in traffic. And I came up with the idea, I said, I could do this script, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be this dude, and then I'm going to freestyle I'm going to freestyle the story of Snakes on a Plane, and then I'm going to walk out. So I get there. I timed it so that my time was, I don't even know what time my time was, like.
You got the sad tuba thing ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
4:30. It was 4:30. I waited until 4:30. Now keep in mind, I'm in full, like I'm in my Adidas thing. I've got chains, the whole 9. I've got these rings, my shit to the side. I walk in, and the dude, one of the bodyguards, has a boombox with a track. I walk in the casting office, click, boom, 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 boom. Walk in, there are actors waiting. I walk right through. Wait, you can't go. Boom, click. Hey, how you doing? Oh, Wayne said, yo, I'm not gonna read that shit. Blah, blah, blah. Went on this whole thing about script. Fuck that script. Look, he hit the thing, and I can't even remember what I said, but it was basically because you want me to explain, I got snakes on a plane, lizard with no legs in the contempt, and we got this dude and want to sit next guy to Sam. Sam said, fuck these planes, you know who I am. When I come in, I do this, and when it's finished, like, I cleared their desk of these papers.
Like flash dance?
Of like the headshots and the scripts. I was like, because of them, clear shit, and I threw the script, because I ain't reading this shit. Let's go. Walked right back out. Walked out of the casting office, went to my car, and it was like, oh, hey, thanks. Here's $50. Thank you so much. You guys were great. As I'm driving home, by the time I get home, I have on my Nextel, I had a
cease and desist.
I had a restraining order.
Yeah.
I had a message from my agent. Call 911. They wanted to offer me the role. They really like you for this role. I was like, I did it. It actually worked.
off, yeah.
And it was that thing of, I'm not booking any. I've got a name. You see me on TV every day, all these things. I'm still begging and fighting people to get into rooms, and I'm even trying to get into this whack movie. So at least I was like, at least I know that I'm good, and this thing happened, and now it pays off. Now here's where I'm going to be careful, because All I know is what I was told by my reps at this time. So they get a call. I'm not going to name who the person was, but somebody who was in a position of power at the studio. When, of course, these names are being run up the flagpole, Wayne Brady's name comes up. And this white person says, oh, no, not Wayne Brady. He's not black enough. He's not black.
So it's him that
He's not black. No, black.
there's always the expert, air quotes.
Yeah, but I love how he hit it with black. So I'm not black. So so then Flex gets it, and that's cool. And I found out this information because I guess somebody at some point in the chain felt so bad. They were like, I just want you to know. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So that one stung me, not because I didn't do a great job, but because I knew it would be something that I'd be facing. And I'm not going to boo-hoo because it's something that just as black actors, black people, black lawyers, we face a certain thing. The naivete that I had up until that point was, well, surely if I'm really dope and you've seen me do things and I'm a great actor, I do Broadway, surely I should get the job. Like, nope, because I don't think that you are based on blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I'm an adult now. Fuck it. I get it. So that helped me understand. So that's one that got away that I was disappointed in, not because of I didn't get it, but because I was like, man,
You're being judged.
If I'm dealing with this, then that sucks for the actor who is coming up and doesn't have any clout or doesn't have
whose line
a thing to fall back on. So that made me very sympathetic to that.
Damn, man, I'm sorry you didn't get that. And this could have been.
That movie was terrible, though, right? So
I mean, it was a hit.
It was a hit.
It was a commercial. Yeah, like it's a definitely cult classic.
It was actually one of the first movies I remember, like, that really went viral. Like,
the viralness of the movie.
Because
the ad campaign.
Yeah, the ad campaign was great.
And they had to add that line later.
Yeah, they added later because they was like people.
The
internet made up
and shit.
Right.
I'll even say, right, like, am I right thinking that's Sam was already doing his thing. Of course, he was Sam Jackson.
Yeah, right.
But I feel like that line in that movie kind of made the mythos of Sam Jackson, where in every movie
he gotta
now,
say motherfucker.
He got to say motherfucker. That and the Tarantino joint. So
Right.
like those are the two that cemented Sam as that dude.
Yeah.
All right, so speaking of which, what secret talent do you have that the general public is not aware of?
You know, the reality is, and here's my secret, I don't have secret talents because I've worked so hard to make the talents that I do loud. Like, I sing, I dance, I act, I write, I can do these things. I need you to know those things because if you don't know them, then I can't. But the regular life talent shit, I honestly.
Well, you said Tumblr. I mean,
one-time Tumblr.
All right.
I really don't know if I do have any other talents that are of merit.
So let me remix it. What secret talents do you have in the kitchen that we're not aware of?
I'm a master at mixing my cereals. And I don't say that lightly. My ratios are on point. They are beautiful.
It's a real talent. I'm
I can
kidding.
bake. I'm a good
Baker. Okay.
baker. Yes, I can bake well.
Who are the three people that you text the most each day? Who are the top three people?
He doesn't text.
I do.
Wait, you're
text these-
anti-technology now?
Oh, I'm not a
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Oh, my fault.
No, but I do text. I text my daughter.
Okay.
But she gets mad because I do like to FaceTime her. But I text my daughter to check in. I text my daughter. I text Mandy.
What three people do you communicate with your phone every day?
Yeah.
If you don't?
And my chief of staff, Sarah. Those
Okay.
are the three people that I text with the most.
Maybe your two chiefs of staff can.
Yeah, I was about to
get
say
together.
we both have chief of staff, so there you go, blammo.
All right. Before you ask him what kind of laundry detergent he uses, can I ask a real question?
Yes.
Steve's all
I'm kind of obsessed with Let's Make a Deal.
Oh, yeah.
I was wondering, besides like what it's like. I don't think we've ever had like a game
game
show.
show,
But like, what's that like in general? But also, did you were you a fan of the old Let's Make a Deal with Monty Hall and?
No.
Okay.
And I don't say that in a bad way. I used to watch it because that's what was on when my grandmother would watch. You know, it's like being black and your mom watches the stories.
The stories, oh yeah.
Right. So there was a progression. You would watch the Price is Right at some point because they were all on CBS, and then I think she would switch over to ABC to watch Monty, and then she'd watch a story. So I would watch it just by being around. But any game show that I liked, I was a snob because I liked Jeopardy. I liked anything that I had to. That was skill based or trivia. So I wasn't really checking so much for Let's Make a Deal as a kid because because that wasn't my thing. So later in life, when I was offered Let's Make a Deal, I turned it down a few times because in my mind, and this was before game show hosting became cool.
Yeah.
You know
was
what?
the kiss of death.
What year did you start?
Claim that shit. I created that lane.
Okay.
It was this is my 15th season, so I guess go back to doing the show
2005,
2008.
2000.
Yeah, because my daughter is 21 since she was born in 2003. So I started the show, which was 2000 something. When I was offered it, game shows were kind of game shows, and in my mind, when I think of game show host, I think of the game show hosts that we grew up on, which were cool, but you know the guys with the long mics
Yeah,
and
the Match Game guy, Gene, something.
Gene Rayburn.
Yeah.
hello, love. All right, so you have let me kiss you in a way that you don't want.
Richard Dawson.
You know, Richard Dawson, that whole thing. So I was like, game shows are that. Like being a game show host, almost I felt had a taste to some people, especially in the entertainment business, like it's something that could be parodied easily. Like a weatherman or a bad DJ. Hey, this is Jimmy you could easily make fun of it and do a shorthand. So I was like, why would I do that? Why would I do that thing? I'm not going to be made fun of for doing that thing. So, and it was nothing against the show. I was like, no, you've got the wrong guy because on that show, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you just say, hello, Irma from Pacoima, you're dressed as a loaf of bread. Do you have a quarter in your pocket?
It's kind of bizarre. Everybody's dressed
And that's
up,
lovely.
yeah.
And that's lovely that they do that. But I have a skill set that exceeds that. So no, thank you. Until Mike Richards, who was the EP at the time, he said, Monty Hall really wants to meet you. And I was like, I'm not going to say no to meeting Monty Hall, especially because my mom loves him.
I didn't know
and
you were
grew
still
up.
alive.
And he, no, when I started the show. When I started the show, he was alive. And Monty, I did lunch at Monty's house, and he was so lovely. And I said, Monty, thank you so much, sir, but I'm getting ready to write a sitcom. I've got a deal for that. I've got things that I need to do. I don't do this. He goes, no, I don't want you to. I want you to do what you do. That's the only way that this show is going to work. Well, what do you mean, what would I do? He's like, no, you're funny, and the improv that you do, and the things, and the characters. And I said, really? Okay, well, if you're cool with it. Then I thought about it, and I tried to do the business mind. I'm like, well, like with my talk show, and I remember being in people's homes, it's a very powerful thing, being able to touch people every day. And I also did it because my grandma, I'm like, if I can do something that my grandma likes. So I said yes, and I started it. And I remember being clowned at first. And what's funny is, right as I got clowned by a couple of people out here, whispers, then oddly enough, a season or two later, then other men of color were doing game shows with very lucrative contracts. And now you throw a rock at TV, Michael Strahan, myself, Steve, Anthony Anderson, Jamie Foxx. We did all comedy guys. Shazam.
Oh, Beat Shazam. Yeah, Beat Shazam.
It's all a thing. But as I did it, was like, look at this game show, corny. How much is he making for that?
And what season is he?
He made a deal.
And I really wasn't making it. And I'll say, and I wasn't making what I feel I should have now because I know what I bring. Like the thing that I've created with that show, with the improv, with characters being able to couch it in this, it's so much fun, and I'm glad that people love it. But I take pride in the fact that I've helped along with our team because everybody on that staff gets me, and they're like, okay, let's support that vision.
Even though you say you don't text, that you're FaceTime or whatever, I'm saying communicating, not texting.
Yes, yeah.
Who are the three most famous people that you've texted in your phone scroll right now?
Like ever?
No. Just in the last hour or two since you.
Oh, in the last, I haven't texted anyone famous in the last hour or two.
The most famous name in your scroll at the top of your scroll right now is who?
Sugar Steve.
Oh, well, that's it. Ray Chu.
Oh, okay. Ray Chu.
Now, Ray is famous to musicians.
Yes.
and to anybody.
Apollo, Rachel, is that?
Yeah.
It's an adult Ray Chu.
Of Dancing with the Stars fame.
Okay.
So Ray Chu texted me. That was great, and I don't think anybody else that. Oh, and Ben Vereen.
Wow.
Who
Legend.
Never heard of him.
Who, like, if you know, you know. Ben is like
Pippin.
my godfather. So between
Well, at
him
least
and
he's in communication with you.
yes,
Didn't leave you high and dry.
and Deborah Cox.
Just happened.
Deborah,
Why don't you love me?
we want her on the show, so if you can, put in a good word. I don't know if this is.
Oh
a good
no,
experience for you.
she would love to come.
Okay.
She would love to.
All right. Slight weird question.
Bring it.
Have you ever almost been arrested?
Yes.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because the case is finished. No. What's funny? It's like you wanted to know about me, and maybe you wanted to know. Yes. Once as a kid, I was almost arrested for driving without a license because a friend of mine was drunk, and I was trying to drive him home.
Right.
And I was doing the thing of somebody who really was driving very slow. I was, but. And of course, if you see somebody going,
Oh,
like
when you
this,
drive.
Yeah, immediately.
then
They know
and so
you, yeah.
even back then, I think I had a gift for Gab. I let the machine take over, and he's like, "Hey, let me see your driver's. Look, I'll tell you right off the bat, officer, I don't have a license. I don't have a license. This is not my car." And contrary to what you may be thinking, I didn't steal it. This happens to be my friend's car. As you can see, my friend is intoxicated. He's drunk. We were at a Disney party. We both work at Walt Disney World right up the street. I wanted to make sure that he got home. I took his keys from him, so I would never let my friend get behind the wheel of a car because his death would be on my conscience. So if I'm going to get in trouble for that, then I guess I'm ready to go to jail. Oh, okay, well, just drive a little faster. And how far away does he live? He lives 2 minutes away. All right. And I got off.
That works.
That does not work.
I mean,
Only
in
in
a pre-Uber
Orlando.
world, in
Yeah.
a pre-Uber
been
world,
worse.
it was
That's the one time that worked. And I've been stopped once or twice by cops, and by the grace of God or social media or TV. Hey, you know what I love? That Chappelle thing where you go, oh man, that's awesome. Get on out of here, you crazy kid.
Ah, man.
Aren't you Tigger, the pinching tiger?
Right.
Or like the kid is like, when I was a kid, I was pinched by a Tigger.
Of all your birthdays, what was the best one ever that you remember?
Wow. You are amazing. These questions
You've never been asked before.
never been asked before.
I said that I wanted to interview people I normally wouldn't talk to, like younger
I love
rappers,
that.
whatever, and I want to ask questions that just aren't about your press junket.
The best birthday ever.
I think you might have already given it away.
I think you know. It's the birthday that I found out that my ex-wife was pregnant, and my gift was she told me for my 29th birthday.
That was her gift.
She told me I'm pregnant because I'd wanted a baby, and she wasn't necessarily on board because she was a dancer
Right.
and an actress, and at that point, and she would have to give up her thing. So I was kind of in my feelings about it, and little did I know that she was working to make my dream come true, I guess, and it happened. And so on my birthday, on my 29th birthday, she said, "This is your gift." Yeah, no, was it 30th birthday? On my 30th birthday, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
That's what's up. What was your childhood nickname? Or what is it? Do you have a nickname that people call you?
Yeah, and now I have to address the camera again.
Oh, no.
One of the childhood nicknames that I remember is there was a time when, and I hope that you're remembering all this, Bill, because when we do my one-man show that I talked to you about, all these stories are going in it. So we have to write songs to go with these things.
Done.
Okay, so we need to, and then Ahmir, you can executive produce.
Okay.
Okay, great. So I was actually called Gas Man and I don't even know. And this was like, I want to say this was maybe at the end, maybe it was 8th or 9th grade.
Oh, wow.
So this wasn't like I was a child. And the reason I was called Gas Man is because my grandmother, God bless her, she uses mothballs. I don't know if everybody still uses mothballs, but have you smelled a mothball?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you know what a mothball smells like. Now imagine every drawer has mothballs. When you put a mothball in, you drop a ball or two, and that should do the job in each thing. My grandmother, nothing like no moderation, mothballs, a coating of mothballs in all of the drawers.
Oh my God.
So all of my clothing that was always folded up in my drawers. And of course you don't smell.
You don't smell it till you step outside the house.
Until they smell you, right?
So I started to get called gas man on the bus going to school. And then also besides gas man, then there were, kids can be clever, especially we beautiful kids in the hood with minds that can freestyle and make things up. So there were always songs, great songs about Gas Man.
Oh, they
Gas
just
Man, the Gas Man. Who that Gas Man? Who that? They would put some Uncle Luke on it. Gas Man, Gas Man. Or because then my mom, she shopped very practically for me. She's like, Wayne, I don't have to spend all this money on your clothes. You always look clean. You look clean and dressed. My shoes. So my shoes, Bobos, $1.99. Bobos, they make your feet feel fine. I heard the Bobos thing. But yeah, so Gas Man and Bobos.
Ah, okay.
Oh, and Jamaica Make. Jamaica Funk is what it is. Jamaica Make. Oh, yeah.
They just reduce everybody down to Jamaica.
Yeah, children are shitty people.
Children are shitty people.
No, that's true. Children are shitty people because you're limiter. Kids have because they're little drunks that depend on you, and our prefrontal cortexes aren't really formed till what, 25 really?
Yeah,
so they have no empathy, no sympathy,
No filter.
no filter. So I get it. So that's why I say, man, that's all in the past. And thank you because they give me great stories.
What theme often occurs in your dream? Is there a running theme that happens in your dreams?
Easy. 2. I feel in this session, I've been able to unload more than the therapist that I've seen for the past.
I was saying, this feels way more like a therapy session than I've ever been to. Like, holy.
This is like us doing true.
And your friends.
But I have a belief that dreams are kind of
Absolutely.
I feel like dreams are how you get communicated to from other entities.
Yes. And
People
not
are
just
your
the
ancestors. I feel like my father's talking to me through my dreams. Yeah.
I'm so glad yes, I absolutely feel that. I know that my father talks to me. I know that my grandmother talks to me sometimes. And besides them talking to me, I feel that your dreams keep you safe, that they're almost an early warning system for some of the shit that you may do in real life that you realize in your subconscious. Yeah. Or things that you're afraid of. 2 of my running that I've had the same dream since I was a child. We were the only house on our street on Casino Avenue because people loved and respected my grandmother. Mm-hmm. We were the only house that was never broken into. And in fact, if somebody broke in, like there was once where my next door neighbors to the left, this white family, the only white family on our side of the neighborhood, they were getting broken into, and my grandmother walked outside and she actually saw the kid, and it was one of my school kids. She's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Valerie. She's like, "Don't go in that man's house. Don't do that." And instead of being brolic towards her or doing something, he was like, "I'm sorry, ma'am. You know what?" And didn't go in. Oh, they got him later. Oh yeah, to be sure. But we were the only. But I was always afraid. So my whole thing growing up was I was always afraid of somebody breaking into, because I never felt that our house was safe enough. So I always checked the locks. We had the old we had and the pull thing you do. So we had that, but I never felt that our windows were safe, and I was always wondering if somebody's going to break into the back door. So I've kept that throughout my entire life, like clockwork. every couple days, I always have that dream. No matter what house or no matter what apartment I used to live in was, I have the recurring dream of I have to defend myself. No, that's it. I've got to defend myself. I have to defend my family. I have to defend my property. I have to, because if they get in, then we'll be in danger. So that's always been my thing, is I have to defend.
Okay. I dream about trains.
You said there were two dreams.
And the other one's flying. I'm always flying.
A fear of flying, or you're always flying?
No, I'm always flying. I'm too, but it's because.
But not on the plane by yourself.
By myself.
Yeah, me too. I have that one.
Oh my God, that's
Word,
another
flying
Andre
dream?
3000 revelation.
Oh wow.
Andre says that as well. Like
It's like I'm swimming.
he learned. He told me a story. Like CeeLo taught him astro traveling. Andre 3000.
Wow.
He goes into detail about that. Okay. Yeah, I
What about trains?
I'm always obsessed with trains, be it Soul Train or like the subway. There was a point where I was obsessed. There's an obsession I have with during the pandemic. I discovered a YouTube page of a guy whose like goal was to just track from soup to nuts, like one end to the other end of any train line in anywhere in America. So during the pandemic, I would actually pretend I was going to school. Like I get on the Market Frankfurt elevated train at 15, get off at 15th Street, and then I change the channel to the subway. And literally, I don't know why I have an obsession with train routes on YouTube, where the guy just gets on the front car.
Oh, it's like the point of
Oh,
view
so you're
thing.
seeing the POV, right?
Yeah, like I pretend that now. I know now that the next level of the VR thing is they're now going to create worlds, because I also do that. What was the movie the movie where the little boy in India gets separated from his family and he uses Google Earth?
Yes.
He uses Google Earth to find his village. Like he got separated from his township for 20 years, and then as a 3-year-old, he remembered there was a water tower.
He zoomed in and he saw.
Right,
saw
he
the
got
thing.
lost on the train system as a 3-year-old and didn't know where he lived, and then he just lived all over. He got adopted by a well-to-do family, and he told his well-to-do family, "It's my dream to find my birth family." And they just like, well, if you remember this water tower thing, very specific as a 3-year-old, we can go on Google Earth and look for it. And that's how he was reunited with his family. But yeah, like they're going to create worlds like that on what's
the Apple
the
Vision
Oculus
Pro or whatever. Yeah.
So that
If
that's
you go on Oculus and you use it's not amazing technology, but I've done
I
that.
love going on my Oculus.
Using the Google Earth.
Yes.
To look around, and now on the
I walk through my
Apple
neighborhood.
Pro, I've done the same thing. I love the Apple Pro. They're like that. That thing is amazing.
So how do you use it? What's your
I use it to watch movies, because you really can make an IMAX.
Yeah, you can go in the movie theater
in your house.
and
You can be watching the movie, or if I am doing work that you actually can type, there's a virtual screen. I look at my emails. You can go online, and the great thing, because of the pass, you can do these things as you're just in the world. It's great.
during 2020, during like the pandemic, got 2 Oculuses, and to be trapped in the house, but with those things on, like I would build worlds and malls and everything, and literally we'd have date night, like get on the roller coaster and let's walk in the mall, and it felt real. Like I built, we would do like virtual ping pong in this resort, like a Poconos type of resort thing, but it really felt like we were there. Like
My ex-girlfriend and I did the same thing, and we would go. She would go to sing karaoke. That there'd be these virtual karaoke bars, which just the avatars, and everybody would sing, and I would go along with her. And so my avatar would just
sit in the audience and watch.
Sit and watch. And sometimes I'd sing, because at that point nobody knows who anybody is. So,
Right.
I would do that, and we'd go to virtual Disney. And
I've not tried that yet.
it's so cool. That's when I fell in love with the Oculus.
I had it when it first came out.
This
And
new
then maybe-
Oculus is much better.
And then I tapered off. Like once we went outside, I stopped going on it. But I can only imagine now in 2024 that it's super
It's great.
advanced, and
It's great.
I can't wait for that.
Shout out to Oculus.
If 5 records define who you are as a human being, what 5 records in your record collection best describes who you are?
In my record collection.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, you know what? You've got to. I'm gonna go through my Apple Music real fast because I don't have records, and the records are in storage, so I have to remember
Okay.
which ones I have. Okay, so just off the top of my head, because that's a really deep question, I'd say, oh, you know what? The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
And I can't tell you exactly why. I feel though that, but I feel a thing, that record, I love that record so much. And I felt like I was being spoken to in terms of being a creative. Because she was finding her voice and finding her thing then. And then Zion, that was released right as Miley was born. So it was the first time that I knew about having a child, and some people wanted to clown her for her MTV performance when she broke down crying. But I was like, no, I get it. I finally get what it's like to love somebody that much, to break down crying and not care what you think.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites. To define who I am as a person.
Miseducation.
Kid and Play.
Too hype.
Kid and Play Too Hype.
Facts.
Wow,
Big
that was
facts.
fucking weird.
Yes.
And the reason
That album's
is
a fucking
I
jam.
don't know if it's because of a it's not because of a trait, it's because of a time.
Okay.
It's like that's when I saw these dudes dancing and having a good time. Hip hop wasn't, that era of hip hop wasn't serious. And when I saw them dancing, they gave me the courage because I would sing and dance in my house. Nobody
not
knew that I
outside.
could sing or
Wow.
dance until the first time that I did a musical on stage.
Your family didn't know about your talent?
Nobody,
How'd you hide that?
in my room. I did a lot of things in my room.
You have a voice. Like,
I did.
you didn't project in the shower?
Nobody would know because the couple times that I would do things, my grandmother would say, "Stop running around in that nonsense." I was like, "Okay, got it, nonsense.
yeah.
Can't do it in front of you.
Safety.
Won't do it in front of anybody. I
Right.
got it." But it wasn't until so that came out in like 88 or 89.
It
No,
is 80. Yeah.
80.
Too hype was 88.
Okay, so 88. So I was that was at the beginning of my junior year. And that's when I started doing theater. And I saw those guys dancing, and Hammer came out around that time, and Too Hype. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn those dances. And with my crippling ass social anxiety, I'm going to go to a school dance. And I'm going to get up and do the whole thing. Dude, that they gave me the courage to go out and do that. And so that was one of those things that I just copied their moves.
Okay.
Getting funky still. That
Oh, come on.
man. That should go.
Getting funky. I love that.
All right, so Kid and Play, Lauryn Hill.
Prince's Purple Rain.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
It's a little. Oh, and that's not it. That's not it either. Purple Rain, I think, for our generation, that like watching someone. I really didn't even know what the whole story was about. It made me feel some kind of way, like watching this guy sing about sex and these girls and like vanity and watching this whole thing.
It felt dangerous.
It felt like I hadn't seen anything like that.
But I
before.
assume that your parents are strict or Christian if they're from the islands.
It wasn't even about being Christian. She was very much, but
Prince wasn't the
weird.
devil.
She wasn't consistent. She wasn't consistent. There were certain things that were bad, but she's like, Prince. Then it'd be,
Yo, that's rare.
that's Prince. But the thing
Prince
that
was everyone's favorite target.
I love Prince. The thing that I didn't like is that was my first time really seeing and recognizing what homophobia was.
Okay.
Because, my grandmother would look at Prince. Oh, Prince is an anti-man. He's an anti-man. He's gay because he didn't. No, that's an anti-man. And so my other relatives, my men, nah, man, that anti-man, he dance around and his ass all hanging out, and I don't know who. So, but I was like, I don't think so. Look at the women are kissing him.
Right.
That's actually cool. So watching this dude, I was like, I wish I had that confidence. That guy's wearing frills and he's on a motorcycle, and all those women want him.
Right.
That's cool. So definitely Prince.
Okay.
Run DMC, Rockbox.
Okay.
Because that was probably my introduction to hip hop.
Okay.
Wow.
Like a lot of other kids, I'd heard, I guess, on the radio in Dad's car, to hip, to hop, to hip it. I'd heard that in the message when I was little, but Rockbox was, I think I was like 10 maybe, because USA Night Flight. I don't remember that.
I remember.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so you would say that's how I would get all my music, because I would take a tape recorder and I'd record all of the videos.
I remember that shit.
So
Okay.
USA Night Flight, so I would just wait. So Rockbox, and then I was like, what are these? That wasn't like the hip hop, because that wasn't to the right, to the left, everybody jam, boom to the feet. That wasn't that. And these guys are in leather, and what are they doing? So that made me, so I got into Run DMC, which led me to LL Cool J, which led me to that whole movement,
Okay.
which so that was really pivotal. That's when I started freestyling, because I wanted to learn their songs, but then I would just take words that they used and then just try to rap along with them.
How did you develop your confidence for improv and freestyling? Because I feel like if I could just lose one aspect, like when I told you at the top of the episode about like the whole Norm Macdonald embracing silence and a bomb joke or whatever, like now I'm a little fearless with it. But I believe that really good freestylers, you, Lynn, Tariq, people that know their freestyle, how do you let go? Because you kind of revealed or outed yourself as a person who's like guarded and that sort of thing, but you're also in a profession with a creativity that requires you just to be Geronimo, like just fall over and pray that there's a soft landing when you land.
Man,
But that's where I feel safe.
Yeah, I remember it was an episode of Who's Line, and I think this was the episode that really, because you were the reason I watched Who's Line, like straight up. I'm like,
thanks,
you're not like for real. I'm like, yo, I want.
No, you're a monster on that show.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so like it was one, and you had been killing it. I was like, I fuck with this dude, because that was my first time really hearing about you. You did a character. It was like a superhero sketch. You did a character called the Barroom Brawler. Bro, that shit.
I think I remember
and
that.
you like threw yourself
I
out
acted
the
out
bar.
the entire fight.
Dog, that shit was hilarious. Like,
Thanks, man.
I'm real.
See, but that freedom that you talk about, and you even said, when I teach improv, like I can't speak for anybody else's thing, but I know that all my shit comes from being that kid who sat in that room. If I didn't have anybody to play with, I had to think and I had to create. And,
Okay.
and in the things that I watched, if I mimicked it, I had to be all the parts. So it just made sense to me.
Were you an only child? Was it?
I have a sister that was raised with me partially, but it wasn't until I was 10. So for the most part, I was raised an only child.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I found ways to be creative on my own that I didn't know. Nobody put a label on it. Like I hadn't met Keith Johnstone, who's one of the fathers of improvisation, and so I hadn't met them. I didn't even know there was a word for it. So cut to later, when I actually started doing improv with the group that I was with from Orlando called SAC Theater, and then 7 of us moved out to LA and became the House Full of Honkies, and that's how I got Who's Line. I didn't know that there was an organized thing for it. So when they were like, "Oh yeah, it's theater where you make stuff," I said, "Oh, yeah, that's fine," because I could always
I've been doing that.
freestyle. Like I would just freestyle for my friends, or we can do, so if you want me to, and characters, sure, I'll just make stuff up in scenarios. Psst, great. Because I didn't know what the thing was. But my methodology of doing it is I have to act everything out to make it tactile. So when you see a scene like that, that's how I do my thing, is I know how it's supposed to look and feel. And I can do the musical improv because I love music and I'm a songwriter. So I just think of an improv song as my first draft. So I feel safe in that, which is weird because I feel weird about every other thing and nervous. But with that, it's like, oh, yeah.
So you just trust fall.
Yeah,
in
because I know
sort
that
of way.
something will be there. Now, will it be the most brilliant thing all the time? No, and it's not supposed to be. The one thing I did learn later is with the yes and also comes with, and Bill can back me up on this, the sense of, okay, I'll go for it. Geronimo, I hit it, great. I don't hit it, better. Because I got to come back around and justify whatever happened. And if I'm on stage with partners, I've just given you a lane to let you jump in and save me. So you have to embrace that failure. And that's one of the rules that Keith Johnstone, the father of theater sports, that I never understood. Is like, you have to be willing to fail. Improvisation, by definition, you shouldn't be getting laughs. You shouldn't be successful because it goes against our primal
Building character.
Right. Like it goes against the thing of, I want you to like me and I want you to understand what I'm saying. I don't want you to root for my downfall. When you watch an improv show, whether you know it or not, you are rooting to see what's he going to say. There's no way that he's going to rhyme hypothalamus. Nope, not going to happen. Orange, get out of here. Yeah. It's not going to happen. He sucks. Orange, door hinge. If someone comes with that Eminem rhyme, you're like,
Right. Corns and calluses rhymes with hypothalamus.
Wordsmith.
bravo.
Way to go.
Appreciate you.
But
Anniversary, bro.
okay, but I'm a guy who, I don't know if you ever seen Mike Birbiglia's Don't Think Twice.
Of course, yeah.
And
Yes.
Okay, so is there a general rule, like if you're in a group of people, like the temptation to not show off or show out? Like there's a point where they tell Keegan-Michael Key, like, all right, well, don't do your Mbamba impression. Like, in other words, I know when you're showing off and doing your...
you go into the short shot. You go into...
Yeah, like your aristocrats trick.
I think it depends on the group.
It's not doing that. I think that's always the key, especially in a group of improvisers. It's a conglomeration of everyone's effort.
But how do you know when it's time to shine and bring the show to another level?
Honestly, I think with our group, it's repetition and doing it over and over again. It's like a great basketball team or a great soccer team. Like in a good basketball team, the reason an alley-oop works is because the guy knows where the other guy's going to be, so he throws the ball to where he knows it's going to be. It's the same thing with us. I feel like if you know Lynn's coming up to do something, you'll lob him a line and it'll work, whatever, and you'll leave him somewhere that makes it funnier, and everything just sort of gets like on top of each other, until it's like ready to explode. And that, I mean, sometimes it's luck, it feels like. Sometimes it's you're having a great night, and honestly, sometimes you have a shit night. I mean, we've done hundreds of shows where it's just like, wow, we can't even buy a laugh, you know? Like, that's kind of the thing about improv, which I find to be so interesting. It's like,
it happens.
We bombed, and like in like front of many thousands of people, and it's just like,
So it teaches you to fail.
yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of
And
the
you
best
have
part
to
of it.
know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And I think the worst thing that can happen to you, and this happened to me, before Whose Line, I was not the funny person in the house full of honkies. I had my role. I was like, I do the song stuff and I can do characters and physical things, but because improv isn't really my thing, I'm doing the group, but my thing is I'm going to get cast in a sitcom or in another thing or like, so I don't consider myself funny. Mm-hmm. You can use me. But after I got Whose Line, and then I was one of four, that they're like, oh no, we hired you because we expect you to be able to come up with something now. Mm-hmm. It was the first time that I was called upon to be funny on the dime. And the training that Whose Line gave us it's kind of the antithesis to what you just said. The four of us that, the regulars, we've come to know each other's strengths and we can give each other lobs all day. But because of the nature of the games and what it is, it's a team sport, but it's also, we know that Wayne can do this, we know Wayne can do that, we know that Ryan's going to do this, we know that. So you can lob for somebody else, but they expect you to be able to step forward and take it.
Is there ever pre-practice or like,
No.
are you given sides?
No, the only practice that we have is a camera blocking. And so we know the games, but we don't know any of the suggestions. And the camera blocking isn't even for us. It's for the actual camera guys to know, because Whose Line was so innovative. And people have tried to shoot improv shows before. But the reason that Whose Line works is, and I learned this as a producer from Dan Patterson, the guy that created it, he's not doing Whose Line for the people that are in that audience. The people in the audience are a tool. He's doing it for the home viewer. So the reason that we would have that camera blocking is he wanted to know is if we were doing a game like Talk Show, Wayne, I'm going to put you in the audience. And if we're following the conventions of a talk show, maybe I might get up and be angry and run down the stage and tackle him, or I might run out the bin. We want the cameraman to know. If we're doing X game and they have to follow, but we would never get a prompt. And that's what was so amazing about it. And our hit to miss ratio got to be so good. Like, it was scary. It was like, we really don't have, they're like, oh, there must be so much Whose Line that you left on the floor. No, because they're so cheap in a good way that if we tape for 4 hours, everything we tape has made it onto air at some point in some time. So I got lulled into a false sense of, oh, well, I'm batting at everything until the first time that I did say something on stage. This shit didn't work in a comedy club. I was like, oh, pardon me. Oops.
Wow.
So learning to accept that failure and go, oh, great. Well, that didn't work. Cool. I suck, but I won't suck now.
Is it true that you guys have to have a certain level of synergy with each other for it to truly work?
Yes.
Like, say if I'm passive aggressive with you and Kirk backstage, and we have a disagreement or an argument, whatever. Is it easy to turn back on and just go with the flow, or?
Maybe it's possible. I also think it depends on how well you know each other. Like a group like Questlove Supreme, they came up together and they have a chemistry that I've been lucky enough to jump in and out and sample. Like my friend Jonathan and I, who host Let's Make a Deal, who co-hosts it, and he's also on Let's Make a Deal. We've known each other since we were 19, so we have a shorthand. It's easy when you have a shorthand. If you're mad at somebody, to do a successful improv show, it would be hard because you have to be so open to what the other person is doing. It's trust. And so if I don't trust you, I'm not going to mess with you because then I'm going to take it on my back. I'm going to go, you know what? No, I got this.
What one thing did you leave behind in 2020? Mm-hmm. And what new thing did you gain in 2020?
I think I left behind a bit of that fear that I talked about, and I gained a brand new sense of I'm gonna live my life because life is too short. I literally try to live my life knowing that there's a clock, and not a bad clock, but there's just a clock.
Okay.
And I want to be happy.
What movie are you ashamed to admit that you've never seen?
There are so many movies I feel that are in the zeitgeist that we've heard or we've seen bits that you feel like you've seen.
That you're supposed to
I
have
don't
seen?
even feel like I've seen that. Like, I'm nowhere near it.
Or better yet, like a movie that you're supposed to have seen?
Oh, Star Wars.
Are we the same person? Are we the same person, Wayne Brady?
Brother, now granted, I can give you the entire
see Star Wars with him.
I can give you the entire plot of Star Wars, and that, because over the years I know,
Yeah.
but I never. Star Wars fell in the gap of my parents. I didn't see a movie in a movie theater until I was 16 years old, and I went on a date that I could afford to pay for. We never went, but then my grandma went, well, you can't see the movie, but we got you these. And McDonald's had the commemorative Star Wars glasses, remember?
Yeah, totally.
So she
had them
got me
forever.
those, and we collected the set of 4. It's like,
R2.
there's your Star Wars. So it's like, okay. So never seen it still.
Wow.
What?
You are the
I've
same
never
person.
seen Star Wars
This is
either.
wild.
No.
What's you never seen? I knew
Never.
that. I knew that.
Star Wars,
Still
Lord of the
to this
Rings,
day?
To this day. Anything with just like magical white people and elves and shit, I ain't fucking with that shit. Like,
So no
You
Lord of the
Don't
Rings.
like magical white people.
yeah, like,
Let's
I like
talk about it.
Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones.
I've watched Game of Thrones, but I've not watched Lord of the Rings.
Harry Potter. I've never seen.
I was going to say
that's
that.
white people.
Yeah, I in the pandemic, I finally watched Star Wars, and it was a struggle. Like, I've watched it 5
Right.
times. Or on the the tour bus, I start The Godfather on the tour bus.
Because the word is like the first 3 are like them the ones, but then all them ones they made.
Yeah.
I heard them shits is trash.
Oh, no.
So I heard
Oh,
that
no.
wasn't.
Well, one of them are good. Yeah. So I've still not watched Return of the Jedi, but I think I can officially say that I've watched Star Wars to the point where I remember it. And Empire Strikes Back. I know I've seen it twice, but I don't remember shit. Like, and I still can't tell you what Star Wars is about. Like,
like in the broadest
Good versus
terms.
evil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hero's journey, but yeah, like now I don't know if it holds up to the other stuff that
That
has
shit don't
come
hold up
past.
to Invincible. Cause like,
Invincible.
yeah,
Wow.
that shit ain't got no smoke for Invincible.
Invincible.
I just learned something about it.
okay. Are you 5 minutes early or 20 minutes late?
5 minutes early.
I can bet. That's
So now you can't be friends. This sucks.
No, but I can give you well that comes with a in parentheses. So 5 minutes early, because if left to my own devices, I will be 20 minutes late because I get caught up in that thing. I forget what they call it, the time blindness, or I'll stand in my closet,
Distracted.
red shirt, the sweater. That's it. I can't wear that. And then I play the scenarios. No, that won't look good if I do. If I don't, oh shit! Okay, but I have to, and I'll be rooted in one spot until whatever the thing is that I have to solves. So I have to leave extra early to allow time for me getting stuck.
How did were you officially diagnosed with ADHD? And when was that? And like, what's that process been like, kind of managing it?
It's been great because using the medication when I need it, it does help me focus. And as a creative, we all have ideas. It helps me get things done. It's no problem getting an idea. It's doing something with the 14 that you have and then writing shit down. Or even getting focused enough to, I'm up. Now I have to get out of bed. Now I'm going to make my bed. I'm not going to lay in my bed. I'm not going to, using it that way and also understanding certain patterns and behaviors that I have. Some that are superpowers and some that aren't. So it's a good process.
How old were you when you like finally realized, I guess, or were diagnosed?
5 years ago.
Oh wow, okay.
Oh yeah, I've come to many things late in life, but better late than never.
Listen,
that's part of that trying to be happy thing.
This is part of the pandemic pivot. Like, I'm home now, and
yeah. Why am I like this? Why does this thing happen? Why am I not happy? Blah blah blah.
okay. So you mentioned something on the Tonight Show, which I kind of want to ask, which was, because the thing was 2020, you made the decision to quarantine with your blended family.
Yeah.
With your ex-wife, who's now still your partner and whatnot, your daughter, I don't know your current situation now, but how are you guys able to, first of all, whose idea was it, and would you recommend that? Like,
I would only
knowing what you know
recommend it-
now.
I would only recommend it to someone if the family became known because of TikTok, when everybody got on TikTok at that point.
Okay.
And then we started doing dance videos and we would post, oh, this is our family story. And then news outlets picked it up. And it was so weird to folk, wait a minute, you're quarantining with your ex-wife? You're living in the same, but we don't understand. So the only way that we could get to that is I wouldn't recommend that unless you've had, before 2020, Mandy and I met in 95. We were together for years, and then we got divorced, and we had our baby before that, and then we made a decision to stay friends and to work on and we genuinely love each other. Like we are family. Like we couldn't be together romantically, but that is my heart. That is my family. She would kill for me, and I'd kill for her. I'd and so being able to, it's a fluke for some people, and to then do it with her boyfriend, Jason, and it's not even boyfriend, her life partner, used to be my backup dancer when I had my Vegas residency.
Wow.
So add another layer on top of that, and it sounds, what a wacky sitcom. But we love each other enough, and I'd like to think that with enough therapy, we needed to do therapy. I needed so much therapy to be okay with myself that I could be okay with Jason and not try to be on some toxic man shit of like, well, that was but you can't be, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. No, this is another man who stepped in, who my daughter feels safe around, and who I've never gotten a call from my ex-wife saying, this guy is hurting me, or he's stealing money, or he has treated us another way. So I love him. So I would not recommend it unless you have a history of therapy with your family, because even knowing everything I know now, that's not for the weak. You must know each other well to be quarantined together. That's no joke.
What will you admit is one of your worst habits that you dealt with?
Wow. Commitment.
Okay.
And not that I was cheating or doing anything. I'd get into something.
Or to anything.
And then immediately go,
Projects
whoop, I can't do it because I commit so fast because I would love that relationship, or I would love to do this job because they think that I'm talented, or she thinks I'm good, or they think that and then you jump into something, you're like, ooh, this was not the right move. I shouldn't have done it. Okay, I gotta quit. And
So you get out of it?
yeah.
See, I'm a completist. I fucked up. I said yes to everything, and I'm not regretting it because they're passions. But I wish I could just be like, dog, just
See, but I want to be.
You don't need 7
a
projects at
completionist.
once.
So you can help me, because Mandy lives by, if you say yes, you have to rock it all the way through. And I agree with that in theory, but there are some things that you say yes to that are not good for you. Like somebody may not be good for you. So I don't want to. My habit was I would try to see it through to some kind of conclusion instead of just chopping it off. And then even accepting a job that you're like, okay, this is gonna suck. Why am I doing this? It's not going to be good for me. I'm going to look bad. Look, I'm out.
Yeah, I did shit to the detriment of, like, the casualty of was basically my relationship. Much to the detriment of my relationship at the time. Like,
Even when it's
I had to
amicable, it's
sacrifice
not
it.
amicable.
What'd you say?
Even when it's amicable, it's not amicable, because somebody's got to kick the other person, and that just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, I'm definitely the bad guy in this scenario, and I feel horrible that now I realize I fucked up. So, but I'm gonna see this stuff through, and then I promise I'm really going to commit to just like one thing at a time, and not stack a whole back pile of things. Like it's not human to direct 4 movies at once and make a record and.
No,
It's not human, so I don't recommend that.
but
So.
you did it, so good job.
Well, yeah, it's going to be good. So hopefully, not hopefully. I'm training myself to not. I don't
It's
talk.
going to be good.
Yes, I have to
Period,
talk in
yeah.
the affirmative. The affirmative. And this is kind of an easy question. You have 30 seconds to talk to your 12-year-old self.
So what do you want me to talk to him about?
Well, what would you
Mixing cereals.
What would you want to tell him if you were allowed to have a butterfly wing effect to a certain belief? If I could have the confidence and the insight that I have now at 53,
Right.
and maybe like 33, even 43. Like
We are the same person. I hate you. 'cause
Right. No. I'm one of my regrets was like, wow, at 49, my eyes finally opened. And now I'm just thinking like, damn, man, like 49 now, and then I'll be 60 and shit.
No, but you can't think.
Like I
think
could have made
that.
magic. Well, I'm
can't think
on
like
everyone's ass like 30. Like
Nah, 30. You don't get it then.
I
You don't
know,
get it.
I
It's-
know.
It's
You want to do hood rat shit with your friends.
Yeah,
Like you ain't
it's
thinking
so
about,
weird that it can't even work like, because that's around the same. Yeah, like I would have had that epiphany. I'm 51 now, so it wasn't until like being 46, 47 that you start doing that work, and of course you would wish for that confidence. But I would challenge you and say, if the confidence that you could even have at 40 or 30, whatnot, who knows where you would be. So the only thing that I could tell to my 12-year-old self is, I can't regret anything, because I guess things have turned out okay. There are things that I hate all the time, like career moves that I wish I wouldn't have done that shit. But life isn't horrible. So the only thing I can tell him is I wish that what I want for him is maybe not to change anything, but I want for 12-year-old Wayne to know, when this sounds like a hackneyed life thing, to just know that you're enough in that sense. And just
That's
know,
not hackneyed. That's
and just know that
real.
you're going to be, and like, you're dope. Like, trust me, you're dope. You don't even understand how dope you are, because I don't even know how dope I am, because I get excited if somebody that I recognize, like you even saying hi to me, or anybody that I respect that says, oh, Wayne, I saw Alicia Keys the other day in Swizz, and they're like, oh, Wayne is like, you know who I am? Oh my God. That whole thing, that's still that 12-year-old kid who is like, but so, yo, you are so good. You are so great. Don't worry about being cocky. Don't worry about pleasing people. Don't worry about being black enough. Don't be that. You're going to be good. So do what you want to do, instead of living your life and having it affect your choices. And then without telling him to change anything, maybe if he just did that, then we'd see what would happen butterfly-wise.
All right, before I close this show, man, it's just hitting me right now how apropos this moment is. For me, the idea of Questlove was invented. The idea of this, the idea of everything was invented on all the ironic dates to remember. Fucking June 2nd. Like, I've written composition notebooks. I'm never cutting my hair. I'm growing this outrageous. June 2nd, 1989. It's so weird that what I deemed the worst day of my life, now someone that I, in the beginning was talking like, oh yeah, we'll be cool. Now I'm like, fucking universe is sending me something. It was even to the point where I hated all Geminis.
That's why when you went, you a Gemini? I get that now.
Dog. And that's the thing. Like, Zara's a Gemini. Kathy's like the people that are real close to me. I hate Gemini. I used to hate Geminis. Look at that.
Hi, Zara. Hey, Zara.
Yeah. So these whole 2 episodes, thank you, Wayne Brady.
I love that.
You finally disarmed my ire and disdain for Geminis.
Well, I'm glad I was able to bring some love.
Dude, this I appreciate you for coming and doing that. Wait, I guess so that Amber's not totally angry with me. How's your experience been with the Wiz? I wanted to know you as a person and not your profession, but
no, the Wiz, come on, like, what can I say in just a few seconds? You know, the Wiz, to be able to bring this seminal piece of black theater to stage again after almost 50 years of being not here. That's why I wanted to be a part of the show. I wanted to be part of this black moment. This is a moment. And the talent on stage it's impeccable. It's like when you talk about black excellence, and I know that some of us have a hang up now with the term black excellence because it denotes that other people. I'm going to say it. No. It is black excellence because everybody on that
real
stage. Real
black excellence.
It's real right.
Not consumerism black excellence.
Right, it's not that, look at what I'm doing, black excellence. Right. It is watching people, like when I watch the dancers dance, and I know a couple of them used to be A-Lee and they trained. You watch people that when I watch them dance, I think of, in the classical world, you know, black bodies in the ballet space and the modern space being told your butt's too big, your hips are too wide, you can't do those things because of how you're built, and being able to turn a Eurocentric thing on its head and then come up with your own form of it. Watching these dancers do that, I was like, that is excellent. Listening to these voices, these amazing voices like our Dorothy and the Tin Man, I forget the characters, but I know their names. Avery, Philip, and Kyle. Their voices are anointed. The voices in the cast, the talent. You can throw a rock, and any of those people, you would pay to listen to a record from them. And I look at that and I go, wow, that's what it feels like to not be the only you. And I look at that, and it's one of the only times that I've been in a cast like that where I go, I'm so blessed. I'm humbled.
That you're in a community of you.
That I'm in a community, and it's amazing. So please come out and see The Wiz.
That's beautiful, man.
That's all I can say.
And you don't have to be black to see The Wiz. I'm just saying. You don't have to be.
Dog.
So, Bill, Sugar, I'll see you.
I'll be there. Thank you for the invite, Wayne. We will be there, me and Steve together.
Yes.
Now,
thank
is
you.
this the machine talking, or is this really you?
Oh no, this is Wayne wanting you to come out.
I
and
just
see it.
want to know who to ask for when I get there. The machine.
Wayne's very proud of it.
All right, well, brother, thank you for coming on the show. Wayne Brady.
Man, I got to do it. Yes.
Nah, this is love, man. Thank
Shout out to Laia. You missed the.
Oh, Elia, I'm sorry.
Much love, like
Next time I come back, we have to freestyle. We have to set it up so we can do something.
Hey,
Say
yes,
Done.
you're definitely going to be a mainstay on the show, man. Thank you for coming. On behalf of New Bill and Healthy Sugar and Fontigolo and Laia, this is Questlove and Wayne Brady. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next Questlove Supreme.